Healthcare issues seem to be the talk of the town these days, and as your advisor, we felt it was very important to get you some usable information regarding your healthcare situation. And we wanted to be able to get you this information without a substantial time commitment on your part. The following brief presentation enables you to review the information at your leisure and without coming in to our offices. As you know, Obamacare was passed before everyone actually knew what was in it, or rather, how it would actually impact the cost of healthcare benefits. Although some changes were known before implementation, and this caused insurance companies to raise rates in anticipation of government limitations, which would be imposed on them after Obamacare was the law of the land. The end result of implementation was quite a bit of confusion, consternation, and cost. Unfortunately, consumers like you are the ones bearing the brunt of these sea change, and many of our fellow citizens do not think they can do anything about it. However, as your advisor, we want to make sure you have the opportunity to better understand the financial impacts of Obamacare, along with a key solution that works very much like Medicare supplements. Only these are for younger people with or without one of the new Obamacare policies. Obamacare is similar to its older sibling, Medicare, in that it has gaps which leave you holding the bag when it comes to actually paying for health care. Please bear with me on this slide because it is extremely important in understanding why you need the ObamaGap solution. Number one, there are numerous well-publicized reasons for why premiums have been jumping. And even those who receive a subsidy find their premium share makes them choose either the bronze or silver plans. While the media may talk about moderate double-digit increases in premiums, our experience has been more like a double or triple in the premium rates since the Affordable Care Act has been implemented. Our own personal experience is an example. The premium for a family of 4 was $370 per month prior to the new law, but now the lowest premium we can find is for a bronze HMO plan, and we have to pay $842 per month. For many, because they choose the bronze or silver plan, their deductible is higher than ever before. Or if your employer has terminated your group policy, you may find yourself with the higher deductible bronze or silver plan. Either way, the bulk of consumers are finding that their deductibles have increased sharply and increased the gap in what their health care actually covers. Of course, the out-of-pocket maximum is a big number, especially for those who qualify for a government subsidy. Let's face it, the out-of-pocket maximum per person is usually bigger than most people's car payments for the year. And if more than one family member needs health care, the out-of-pocket maximum can easily exceed what the household pays for food and utilities. Plus, don't forget the co-payments required for typical affordable policies. Many of us are left with actually unaffordable care. Then there's the problem of finding a doctor in the new network, which goes with your new policy. Even if you can find an updated list, it is probable you will not find certain doctors or facilities on that list. And while receiving out-of-network services has always cost more, it is even more expensive now due to policy limitations. Of course, as with any government program, we are already starting to see administrative snafus. The highly publicized Obamacare website fiasco is just one example. I think that if the Veterans Affairs program is any indication, we may very well see our wait times for services get longer and longer. Plus, how long will it take to discover which procedures won't even be covered under the new plans? Just like dealing with a call center instead of a local representative in your own community is more difficult, we are starting to see what an administrative nightmare the new paradigm is for the average consumer. So, given all this bad news that most consumers are still yet to discover, the next slide will show you some of the highlights of the ObamaGap solution. In conjunction with A-rated insurance companies, we are offering the ObamaGap solution. Much like Medi-gap or Medicare supplement policies bridge the gap in Medicare coverage, the ObamaGap solution fills in financial holes so as to make healthcare more affordable. At this point, you may want to stop the presentation and just review what is on the screen. It is quite a bit of good information to take in. If you stop the presentation, welcome back. If you didn't, let me just quickly summarize what you should have taken away from the slide. Number 1, the ObamaGap Solution falls outside of your typical health insurance policies. Number 2, it pays you cash when you or your family member are injured or seriously ill. 3, many restrictions or limitations placed on you by health insurance companies do not exist with the ObamaGap Solution. And lastly, as you will see on the next slide, the ObamaGap Solution will provide you with truly affordable benefits. This is another chance for you to stop the presentation and review the benefits of the ObamaGap Solution. As you review this slide, we want you to keep in mind that for most of our clients, the cost of these benefits will be less than a couple of dollars per day. Summarizing this page, what you will see is that our solution is event-driven instead of bill or policy-driven. What I mean by this is that if something happens, you get a check. No worrying about doctors, facilities, co-pays, deductibles, none of that. But don't forget, these payments are not reduced just because something may also be covered from another policy. And lastly, the big point here is that you receive an amount equal to all of the issues being dealt with. For instance, let's say you were in a car accident, had a broken arm, and were transported to a hospital, then you were admitted and spent the weekend in that hospital. All these payments would be stacked together and you would be looking at $6,800 coming to you. That is a great example of how the ObamaGap Solution fills in some, or all, of the financial gaps in your post-Obamacare policy, such as copays and out-of-pocket maximums. The next slide explains what to expect when you decide to move forward with the ObamaGap Solution and start receiving platinum-style benefits for less than the price of a cup of coffee per day. This slide provides an overview of how the process of implementing the ObamaGap Solution works. As your agent, we know how valuable your time is. With that in mind, we are able to provide you a customized quote via email. Then, when you see how valuable the ObamaGap Solution is, we can walk you through a one-time application process via phone and computer. Once you receive the quote, you will see just how affordable the ObamaGap Solution can be for you and your family. Of course, I'm sure you will have some questions, so we encourage you to call so we can set up a time and discuss this solution in more detail, and make sure all your questions are answered. Lastly, because these policies are simplified issue underwriting, our experience has shown that from time we take the application to the time we have a policy in your hands, it should take about 8 days or less. The next slide contains our contact information because we want to make sure you know how to contact us and discuss your ObamaGap Solution. As your advisor, it is very important for us to help you mitigate risk. And as you have seen, the big risk with Obamacare is the gap between what you pay for and what your Obamacare policy pays for. Being on the hook for many thousands of dollars per year per person can have a huge impact on your long-term planning. We encourage you to take the first step in mitigating your risk and enhancing your overall financial plan. Because this is so important, we have 3 ways for you to get in touch with us to discuss the ObamaGap Solution. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to speaking with you soon.